Hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. Uh, once again, I'm doing another one of these combination Google Hangout online at Google Hangout and Facebook Live. I think this is going to be probably the new format for a while. I like this format a lot. Even after seeing it for one day, I was like, dude, I really like this. It's a lot of fun doing this. So this is probably going to be the standard you can expect to see for a while. I don't know, how soon we're going to change it or anything, but right now it's going to be the standard. Share. I'm going to put some more stuff in the notes so you can see some stuff. Oh, wait a minute, share. Comment, that'd be helpful. Let you know our YouTube page. Put the link up so you guys can see it. If it's spelled page, that'd be really helpful. That's quite sad. You can watch this in YouTube if you want to watch it live that way. There's a lot of different options I'm trying to give people. It's kind of cool. Trying to give as many options as possible. Not everybody wants to get on Facebook, which I get it. Not everybody wants to do it the way they want to do it. So I'm kind of enjoying this. Kind of a lot of fun. All right, so another good day. I really haven't even checked the news today, thankfully enough. I've been doing some stuff with Lucas, getting him ready for school and everything, and that'll drive you crazy. Plus, I'm working on the new, I guess I can talk about it now, the new LPJ Design website. This is kind of a little diversion for before we get talking our main topic. If you are a fan of web design or just design in general, I would suggest that you swing by our new website. It's not up and it's not complete. The notes, of course, the link will be here in the notes when we're all said and done, but it's lpjdesign.com. To stop on by and you can see the new look that I'm trying to go with it. It's very different from the other one. It's also, I'm building it all in Adobe Muse. So this is a whole new way of me even looking at it from Adobe Muse. I'm really loving Adobe Muse. It's really awesome. I'm liking everything about it. And even now that I've got a better understanding of it, I think it's even more interesting than it was. Because at first I was like, wow, I really like it. But now it's like, oh my God, I love it. I think Adobe Muse might be one of the best programs I've seen for, at least for me, since InDesign. I think you're a fan of layout. I think you'll like it even if you're not a fan of Dreamweaver, but you know about Dreamweaver. I think it's a great start. I know for this website, I decided to take a different way. Initially my website is usually, LPJ Design is all about LPJ design, but I decided, let's talk about what really the site's about. It's really about Neo Exodus. So I've made it that. The headers on top have been focused on that. And I'm kind of putting it that kind of focus, which is kind of cool. And I'm kind of giving a little separation from, the company and the product, because usually on that website, I have a lot of different things. And I was never really happy with it. And I really didn't like how many things I had on there that were important to LPJ Design, but not the whole thing. So this is a nice change of a venue, I guess. But you can see where it's on there. It's still very new. I've got a lot of stuff that's going to be on there, but you can at least see how different it is. And the rotating banner at top is a plugin that they give you directly in Muse, which is a great plugin. Like I saw, it's the notes too. Adobe Muse, if you're not using it. I think Adobe Muse, like I said, is going to be, if you're not using it, you really should. There's lots of great videos on it. You can do some tutorials. I think it's kind of easy, per se, if you are a fan of Adobe products and, definitely Dreamweaver. So start with it, get some information. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. And that's where we're going with that. Of course, today is, of course, Tuesday. So, that's third-party publisher breakdown. And I thought about, ever since last week, who did I want to do? And I kept saying, oh, maybe I'll do Legendary Games or somebody else. And then it came to me kind of on the blue saying, hey, since this is, a Gen Con week and there could be a lot of people at Gen Con and one person in particular that we all know and love is not going to be there, I thought I'd do a nice little show about him. It's definitely missing that he's not there, and it's very sad. So this one is for Rite Publishing, and it's just a nice little way to say we miss you. We wish you were there. I know a lot of us are not going to be there. I know certain people like myself are not going to be there because you just, kind of making the show, things going on. So this is a nice little thank you, and we miss you, and we wish you were there kind of thing for Steve Russell. So this is why I'm doing this nice review. Plus, hey man, Steve has been in the industry a long time. He has more than proven himself as a great publisher, and I think there's some stuff that people can learn from what he's done, even when dealing with me and talking about some stuff. So I think he's got a lot of good information, a lot of good stuff to check out. There you go. So first and foremost, instead of actually telling everybody to go to RPG Now, what I would normally tell you to do is check out RPG Now. I'm going to flip it a little bit. I'm going to have you swing by Steve's actual page. Oops, this is going to be something interesting. So I'm going to type in RPG Now since I didn't plan on talking about them, but I guess I will be. And Steve sold at several sites. Don't get me wrong. He sold it at several sites, and I'm going to put some in here. Paizo, D20, PF, PFS. If I could type faster, better. PFSRD, RD. That's another site that he's also sold at. I'm going to put links in, of course, in the notes. There'll be notes on this video on Facebook. There'll be notes on the video. See, it's weird I have to point like this when I'm talking to the video. Even I'm looking right here on this video for YouTube. So checking the notes for all the links I'm talking about here. Everything's there. It'll be perfect. So I met Steve a while ago. I can't even remember the exact date where I really met him. It was one of those things that, I was putting out information, doing kind of stuff, and people kind of sent me, I think he sent me an email that basically was asking me some questions about the industry and what's going on and that, basic stuff. The basic stuff of the basic industry. And like, how can I do this? How can I do that? And I was like, oh, sure, I'll tell you. But me, I'm always willing to tell people what's going on and how good it is. So that wasn't a problem. And he was nice enough to, take my advice. And I think Steve, always was ahead of the game than most. I think Steve understood the business side very, very well. I also think he took good advice in the business side. So, one of the best things I could say, first and foremost about Rite Publishing was he kind of did it in a great kind of way. He started very, very small and then focused on getting customers through. And at that time, it wasn't even Kickstarter yet. He'd done a donor-based project and he got a lot of people involved that way. And then when Kickstarter came about, it kind of was just like a natural slide to that for him. And I think that really helped out his business in every shape of the way, because it was just a smart thing for him to do, a smart thing to go about it, and he handled it in the best way possible. And I would say that was a brilliant move for him. And I know at the beginning when he started doing projects, actually, let me see if I can find the first one that he did, because I remember it was a long, long time ago. See, this is the problem when you have to go on some of these sites. You got to think about all this stuff. This is Order of New. And this is still, Phil did, it wasn't Coliseum Morpheum. That was a later one. He did a early one. I cannot remember its name. I see it in my head, but I can't think of what it is. Oh, that's nothing worse than that. You're trying to find stuff. And Steve, in a very short amount of time, relatively speaking, produced a lot of products. And that was, that's just a smart thing to do. He definitely understood that. I don't think it was breaking, but that's not what I'm looking for. The first product I know he did is with, and I'm going to mispronounce the person's name. I'm going to murder it. So please forgive me when I murder your name. It's not personal. It's just that I'm horrible at pronunciations of names. It says a lot about me. Soren Thirstrup. I know I'm killing it. Please forgive me. They did one of the first products I know that I think they did together is the first one I noticed. It was about the Living Skyship. Was that the name of it? I think that was the name of it. I will confirm it. Yep, Living Skyship. Pull it out, Porter. And that was like the first one I ever heard about when I heard about Rite Publishing and that. So I was like, hey, let's see what this thing's about. And it's kind of one of those things. You heard about it. And this is from, let's actually the date. I'm kind of curious. This was produced September 26, 2010. So that was almost 6 years ago, almost a month, 6 years ago. And, that was one of the first things I'd seen. I didn't really know much about him. And he got a lot of great reviews. I know that people really liked it. And from that, the other piece that really got me interested in him as a publisher and then somebody else, is that he did Heroes of the Jade Oath. And once again, it was kind of not about him, but it was something else that I saw that was like, oh, how do you do that? Heroes of the Jade Oath has a cover done by Wayne Reynolds, and it's a Japanese, I like the Japanese-esque Far East, but really I'd say more Japanese than Chinese, even though that guy's carrying a Chinese broadsword, which I didn't realize till this then. Oh, it is actually more Chinese than Japanese, even though, okay, the image is a little more Chinese than Japanese. I didn't really notice that until I just really looked at that, but I assumed it was Japanese. This also goes with Caden, so, which is another one of his settings, but I digress and I'm jumping around. So Heroes of the Jade Oath came out. It was, the cover was kind of very, very distinctive. I'm pretty sure Wayne Reynolds has a copy of it. Actually, it is new, updated for his website. Something else I've got to add. See what happens when you start talking. You start talking about the stuff, and the more and more you get into it, the more cool stuff you got to talk about. And Wayne Reynolds has most likely in his, like I said, in his art studio, his website. If I still remember, I might get lucky and get it really quick so you guys can see it. It's a well-known piece. It's very familiar. But check through his gallery, you'll be able to see it. It's a very neat cover. It kind of stands out. It's kind of hard to miss. So that was something else that came up that it was like, wow, that's kind of cool. I really like that cover. It's kind of a cool cover. And I said, oh, what are these guys doing? And from there, I think we had more direct interaction. And he started asking me questions about publishing and what do I need to do and what do I need to do. So I gave him, the standard, understanding of how to be a publisher and how to really succeed in this and how to get into this from the lowest level to the highest level. Just, what's the standard plan? What do you have to do? How do you have to focus on this plan? It's not, it's not complicated. And I just told him, produce product on a regular basis, build a fan base, go from there, get fans that like you, and you continue on. And he pretty much followed that, I think, as good as anybody could. He took it, he did the smart thing. He really, also with Steve, I think it's helped Steve out, I think, more than me, much more than me. Steve has a great understanding of the rules. I think Steve wanted to be a writer, and publishing just happened to be something that spun out of it. So it was kind of like that. And he, like Clinton Boomer, is one that likes to twist the rules in ways that are really make them innovative and interesting, and it's never really boring. And that's another strong piece for him. I've always been fascinated by that from him. And I think that was kind of, something that really people started noticing about him. And, he also kind of did something that was kind of a direct pull from what Ronin Arts used to do back in the day. And this is kind of a weird idea, but I think it really works well. And I think I'm not going to include them now. Jeez, this is going to be a really long. I didn't plan for all these people to be added, but I guess I'll be adding. Raging Swan has done. They have taken some smaller, focused kind of thing and items and made them products. Well, Raging Swan Press. Actually, it's Raging Swan Press, which I always just call it Raging Swan. I should call it by its full name. They take something like, well, actually, let me just link real quick. They take something, and let me give there's RPG. Now, where's the link? So many things. All right, for example, 101 spells. That's something that he did. And it's kind of it's one of those things. It's like, okay, this is an obvious piece to do. It's so obvious that it's like no one did it. It was like, oh, of course that's a smart piece to do. And what made it so simply easy and so smart is that who wouldn't want more spells for your game? And he started it from the lowest levels and just went up from there, and first level, second level, and built part of his company around that. And it's such a simple little thing to do. And it's not super complex. It's not the craziest thing, but it started his whole 101 series. And for spells, that was a winner. That would have sold no matter what. That was a smart business decision to make, because he covered a lot of things that people, because magic sells. Magic items always sell. Magic spells always sell. It's a big thing. People want more spells. And if the spells are well defined and really well done, it's even better. So he really covered that piece of it very, very well. I thought that was a brilliant idea. And it reminded me very much of how Ronin Arts used to do. So, great idea. And it's one of those me going, I wish I would have done that. It's it's funny like that, but that's how it should be. And he started doing that, and he did levels 1 through 9 of different classes, just getting people to pick the books up, getting people to get interested. And he then at the end, he did the super smart thing that any person with an IQ higher than 6 would do. He collected it in one book called 1,001 Spells. And that's, dude, 1,001 spells. That's a lot of spells. Once you get 1,001 spells, you're basically done. You don't need any more spells. You should not need any more spells. If you need more spells after 1,001 spells, you might have issues. That's all I'm saying. That's a lot of spells. That's a lot of material. That's a lot of written material. And I think if, I don't know if he wrote them all, but I know he wrote a lot of them. But I'm pretty sure, I don't think he wrote them all, but I know he wrote a lot. In the book, this is from Thilo Enzagai's review. It was 291 pages long. And hey, brother, it was a huge. Hey, Alex, I'm doing okay. Just doing my video. Thank you. It's just a huge book. He really put together a huge book. And this book was just immense. It was immense. And like I said, I think he wrote all of it. I don't know, but I'm assuming he did. And this book was a great book. People picked it up. It was what level seller here on RPG? It was a silver level seller. So at minimum, 250 copies were sold. Plus you get it as a hardback, or you get it as a PDF or hardcover black and white. So boom. Figure like at least 250. I'm guessing at least 250 of that. So, it's $19.99 to get the PDF, or $39.99 to get the hardcover, or you get the hardcover and the PDF for both $39.99. It's a great product to pick up, and I think that one helped put him on the map as not just a game designer, as a game publisher, but as a great game designer. I think that's also something that Paizo saw from him. This book has 13 reviews, and the average rating looks like it's a 4.5. So that's not bad for 13 reviews. Come on, dude. That's a lot of reviews of people saying how good it is. So, I think, it has 10 5-star and 3 4-star. So that tells you how good it was. So I would suggest that people go pick it up. It's available at RPG Now. It's available at Drive-Thru. It's available by Paizo. It's a solid book. It's something that he really put the time and effort to make an amazing piece. That's just how it is. And it's one of those kind of great things you'd want to see him do. So that's kind of cool. I think that was an amazing project. And and then he just kept doing more and more smart business as a business guy. And I think he had a love of stuff. He's like I think he's very much like me. He had certain projects he wanted to do, he thought about doing, he planned to do, and focus on working on them. And they weren't all ways, I'd say, the most profitable, but some of them were just really labors of love. But I think he also, he definitely did cover his basis in trying different things, while at the same time picking things that definitely he knew would be big sellers for him. Him doing his Pathways free easing was a great idea. And I think, after the last issue was number 57. He gave away 57 issues of great content that you picked up for free, or you pay what you want. And that got his name out there. I know myself, I was interviewed in it. I put ads in it. I put some of my product in there. So it was a great free source of advertising. He did monthly that he paid for. He paid for it out of his pocket. And that just basically helped endear him even more so to the fan base. And that's a brilliant plan. That's a brilliant way to do it. And he continued to try different things. He also tried like Caden was his world that he did. That was his Japanese horror inspired campaign setting, which they had 3 adventures and some other books. They had I didn't know a lot of products. 15 products for they had adventure series, the 30 Haunts, the Dark Path series, the Adventure Frozen Wind, Haiku of Horror, in the company of their 20 level PC racial classes. They did Tengu, they did Kappa, and did Henge. What else? What else here? More Adventures, Way of the Samurai, and Way of the Yakuza. I bought Way of the Yakuza because it had basically how to build a crime organization and rules for it. And I thought it was actually a great idea. I was hoping to actually use it in something else. I guess I probably will be using it on something else eventually one day when I get around to it. But there was a lot of good stuff in there to buy and use. And I think Steve always did that. Steve gave you a lot of quality to use that was smart, and a lot of it was open too. A lot of open content, which I thought was just insanely good. That I wouldn't have put so much like he did, but that was a good choice. And something else that Steve did well, I think Steve did earlier than most. Oh, then there's also his magnum opus, his Coliseum Morpheon, which I think everyone loved. I can't even remember exactly how many reviews he got. I know this says 4, but I know there was more. This book got a lot of people raved about how great it was. Let me see if Enzegeist one's in here, because I know he gave him a rave review. I forgot what and I think this might even before he was even doing like 5-star reviews. But I know everyone loved it. Thought it was a great book. It got 4 5-star ratings just when the people reviewed it, and it just solid piece. And it was a high level solid piece. So I think a lot of people liked it even more so. The other one that drove me crazy and kind of forced me to do something was Faces of the Tarnished Sook. Oh yeah, by the way, sometimes even though I was a friend of Steven, I hated some of his naming conventions. I really did. I'm a big believer in putting together simple words that people can easily spell, that they don't get confused, it doesn't sound something. But like Faces of the Tarnished Sook was one of those ones I was like, oh, I hated the name of it. I always hated the name. Good series. Don't get me wrong, it was an amazing series. I wouldn't have done my character write-ups for my Enemies of Neo Exodus and even dragons like that without having picked that up. I think the Faces of Tarnished Sook did so many. It forced me to be a better designer and a better publisher, and it gave me some great ideas. And I think we initially, the first one we ever did after seeing him do it was for Widowmaker Scarlet. That was the one where we said, okay, we're going to do 3 different versions of the same thing, and that got us inspired. And we got a review, which I'll never. This is the review we got from for JP. No, this is a review from Jeff Lee, one of the writers for us. Jeff Lee did our Crixus one, and we got I actually want to read this to people because it's one of those. It's a great honor to be considered like this, and I thought this was one of those. And it kind of stuck with me, as a publisher and as a friend. I was really appreciative of how good the work we did was, but also how good the work that we were being compared to. Where is it? Boom. And this is the quote. And this is from Enzegeist. Honestly, I didn't think I'd ever write these words, but this is on par with the absolute apex, surpassing all but my all-time favorite NPC, the Nameless Nil. Cyrix ups the ante regarding content, imagination, and production value, providing one of the very best NPC villains currently available in Pathfinder role-playing game. This shares the throne with my all-time favorite. Yes, it's that good. The Nameless Nil is a product that Steve made that's inside of the collected Sook book, in which let me actually. Tarnished Sook, and it's one of those things that I read that and I was like, wow, because I knew how good his books were. So to get credited equal to that, I was very pleased as a publisher, as a friend. I was like, wow, man, thank you. And it is nice to hear those things said about you and about your friends' companies, and it was just everything that was done right. I really appreciated that. I thought that was something really, really nice. And, I'm glad that we got the opportunity to be considered in the same level as him on that. I mean, that was huge to me. So, it's nice to be considered, equal in your peer, especially a guy who always was given the best of. So I think that was just a cool thing that happened and just made me happy. Sometimes it's about just being happy for doing cool work that gets respected by, people in your field. Yeah. And then something else that Steve did, I think, quicker than most people did, and I think smarter than most people did. He got into other game systems that were not directly related to Pathfinder. I mean, he started with Pathfinder, but then he broke into Fate, 13 Age, Diceless, and he knew exactly what was going to follow 5e. You know, the more you can spread yourself out in different directions, the more money you can generate by being in different pots and different pools. And his dice list, which I never understood dice list. I don't get that. Some people love it. That's great, but he built an incredible fan base on it. He built very impressive Kickstarters on it. Let's see if I can. Stupid sounding phone. Let's see if I can even find. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can find this in the Kickstarters. If I get like 2 seconds. Give me 1 second. I want to just look this up because I know he did well in this Kickstarter, and I wanted people to understand how he really maximized the Kickstarter economy. I think it's probably one of the best publishers for that. Lords of Gossamer and Shadow raised $30,000, and he got 772 backers. So, he knew his stuff. He knew it much better than me. I knew that. He created, what you didn't know, he had 9 Kickstarters. And let me see if I can actually, like the Demolished ones, I know it was one of his big ones he did. The Cadence setting, that's more fiction. We already talked about that. The Adventure Quarterly. Once again, the Face of the Tonic Soap collection I didn't know was actually a Kickstarter. In the Company of Dragons, which I knew was one. And then the last one was the Gossamer Worlds Compendium. And let's just see. On his Demolished ones, 155 backers. He raised just under $5,500. Caden campaign setting, 206 backers, just a little bit over $9,100. Adventures Quarterly, 175 backers, just over $10,000, almost $10,500 he raised from that. Face of the Tarnished Soap they collected 179 backers, almost $4,500 he raised on that. Company of Dragons, I still don't understand this product. I get it, but I don't get it. 425 backers, $21,466 raised. Hey, a lot of people like dragons. Simple, that's easy math. And the Gossamer World Compendium, 366 backers. They raised $13,251. So you can see Steve was very much, from the beginning, understood Kickstarter. I said much better than me. That's something that was very much built for him, and guys like him were very, very open, very telling. I thought, that kind of thing is great for people who want to understand how to do Kickstarters better. I mean, I went to him and asked a bunch of questions for my Kickstarter. So, hey, Kickstarter is not, I'm not the strongest at that. There's tons of guys who do it better. He definitely was one. And following what he did, helped me make some more money. So, I've got no shame in my game. The guy's good. The guy's good. I've always said that, from day one. Find ways to work with people who are awesome, and they'll make you better. That's just the way it is. So, that's one of the best things, about Steve. So I really appreciate that kind of stuff. And like I said, he diversifies very quickly when he was developing his company. And Steve, a lot of people don't know, Steve was doing this full time. He went from being, half-time, like me, part-time, to doing this full-time as his full-time job and generating money. And you can see how he also changed how his products were produced. While a lot of people, I think at one point Steve was doing small products, like most people, doing small, itty-bitty products, real small shots, getting out there, getting the money coming in faster. But he needed to make more money because, this is his way he made money. So he focused on just a lot of smart ways to do it. And, most of his products, if you look at a lot of his later products, are like $5.99, $6.99, $9.99, the higher prices to get the better margins. See how we go back to better margins, how important margins are? So this is something that he put in the work before. He worked very hard. He got involved with the people. He talked to them, got them to love what he was doing. And then he made products that branched out in different directions and stuff. Maybe they weren't total fans of, but they liked him, so they supported him. Having the 101 series, I think, was a smart idea from him. I always went back and said, I'd love to do one like that. But, Steve's a friend. I don't want to compete with a friend on something like that. That's something he did very well. I didn't want to half-ass it, and he did a good job. So that's why, hey, man, if you can't be, and this is something I learned, I forgot what book one of my books was telling me something that said, and I kind of have kept this in my personal self. This is kind of my personal mantra, at least in this part of business. If you can't be number one or number two in a very specific area, don't fight in that area. It's not good for you in the long run. It's not good for you to waste time like that. And Steve was definitely number one or number two in the area of, very niche-y rules and very cool things. Like he and Raging Swan Press, they got that market. So it's like, why would I get involved with that? That was, that's definitely something that happened. Now, with all this fun fest and stuff like that and talking about all this nice stuff, they say it's not polite to talk ill of the dead, but we are a show about talking about positive and negatives. So I've given you a lot of positives. Here's some negatives. Some of the downsides of Rite Publishing, because he's doing it full time, he had to basically do some projects that were just about generating money. And he couldn't do a lot of things that probably he enjoyed and wanted to do, but didn't get an opportunity to finish. One of the biggest ones being Quest Haven. I know Quest Haven was a long project. He was working very hard on it, working very long on it. When we did the Crisis Kickstarter, I came to him and said, hey, do you want to add some stuff for Quest Haven? Because I know you've been working on it. I know you probably got something. He's like, oh, I'd love to. He goes, but it's not even anywhere close to being put together for something. I'm like, look, all you need is like 5,000 words. We can, we'll work something out. We'll find a way to make it work. And he just said he couldn't do it because he had to put it on the back burner because he was working on other projects that generated money. And, that's kind of the downside at what we do. We have to pick and choose. I run a very loose ship and I pick the things I want to do because that's what I want to do. And this is a fun release for me. But there's some guys who do this, for income, for how to eat and feed their family. So if that's what they're doing, they can't make the same choices that I might make or someone else like me make. So, and he was caught in that kind of conundrum. He also had to branch into things that I didn't think were good branches for him, but I get why he did it, but I didn't think they were going to be good long-term money makers for him. He did variations of a lot of his stuff for 5e, just seeing if there was, any interest. And I don't even know if there was really any interest in it. The Pathfinder fans liked him, so it was kind of that cool thing. And I don't know. I don't think they had the same love and quality of the work he was doing. I mean, it's a different campaign. 5e is very different than Pathfinder with Paizo. Paizo was a third-party company. Paizo made third-party products and became Pathfinder. People understand, third-party because Paizo was a third-party. So it's an easy translation to get third-party guys on side. And, plus the rules for third-party for 5e, I think were a little, so I attempted 5e. I wasn't really excited about the sales. A lot of people tried it. It may not be for me. I may not be reaching that clientele. I get that. So, and he might have done better. I don't know, but I'm guessing he did. Like I said, he just dipped his toe in. He only had, was it 5 products up for 5e? 8 products. So, and they're all conversions of all the stuff he'd done for Pathfinder. So that kind of stuff. He did some products that I know I wouldn't have done. And to me, it was kind of like more rules to a game that already has a lot of rules. I was never a big fan of that. So that kind of didn't appeal to me. Like the whole in the company of line, I never got that. I never understood it. I never understood why people would play that. It didn't excite me as a publisher. I'm not saying it's wrong because it sold well for him, but I just didn't get it. I fundamentally did not understand it. So I was not the right person. It was not targeted for me. Not saying it was bad. It just wasn't for me. That's all that one was. And that happens sometimes. So, that was, something I wouldn't have kind of wasted my time on, but something else he did that always kind of irked me, but I know why he did it. Why he did it. He got good, clean, new artwork, but he used a lot of stock art. And I was always like, well, you're generating enough in sales. You should be doing more custom stuff for your stuff. And he kind of did certain pieces, but he definitely did, like on his 100 series, that was definitely stock art. He was definitely trying to, do that. And of course, I'm, me, I'm the guy who's telling you, save money, don't spend money you don't have to. But I always thought that he used a little too much stock art. I think it might have been probably 50-50 or like 60-40 stock art to new stuff. But in my head, I always felt that he used a lot of stock art that I'd seen before. But I mean, that's not saying he didn't use original art, because I know, a couple artists he picked out that I never saw before. He picked up that I started using. So, he definitely was getting original art. One of the biggest, no, I can't think of Jason's last name. Why can't I think of his last name? Jason Ringville. Wow, that was crazy. I couldn't get Jason Ringville's name for anything. Now I got to write him in this. I always hate doing this stuff. You name people, you got to write about him. Jason Ringville is an artist that he introduced me to, and I used him on the original cover for Obsidian Twilight, and he did a couple other pieces for me. And then, Jason has gone on to have an amazing career in this industry, and I know Steve worked with him for a very long time, and they developed a really good relationship. And it's just one of those things of, that was a good deal for both of them. I think it was kind of a great relationship, and I can't say enough nice things about. I mean, like I said, I got Jason. Look, I got an original piece of artwork from Jason, a cover piece, before he became Mr. Jason Ringville, Paizo, every major company, that kind of guy. So I've got one of his early pieces, which is great. As an art fan, that's great. And as somebody who likes, having, seen, I got with him before anybody knew he was popular. And, that's a good ego stroke. But, Steve knew that he was good before I knew it. Also he introduced me. So it's like, but like I'm saying, he had a good eye for that. And I think that's a very positive thing to do. And just helping, other artists become more published and more polished. Why wouldn't you want to do cool stuff like that? So, but yeah, I mean, that's it. Rite Publishing as a company, it ended. It ended too soon. It ended too soon for all the wrong reasons. And I wish it didn't, because a lot of people are definitely missing him. I know he's having his Irish wake at Gen Con, and a lot of people are going to be thinking about that. And I'm hoping they see this video and know, I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I know it would have been nice, to raise a glass, and but these things do happen. But so it's just just a good company. It's a good company. If you research it, I think you can find a lot of interesting stuff for you as a publisher to find useful ways to help you become a better publisher. I think Steve was generally a nice guy, and I think that helped him out a lot. He has always been a nice guy. And I just think, he was the right kind of publisher we want in this industry. And it is such a shame, taken from us. So, yeah, that's all I can say about that. So, well, that's it tonight. We've had a very long conversation. I got a lot of lovely notes here for you to read and go over, and a lot of interesting stuff. I think you'll find this useful. Tomorrow, of course, will be New Comic Day. We'll be talking about that. I'm sure we're going to be talking about some really cool new products. I don't even know what's coming out tomorrow comic-wise, so I'm sure I'm going to be surprised with maybe something new that I picked up that I'm very happy about, because you always want to pick up something new and exciting. Also, everybody who's at Gen Con, look, a lot of us are not at Gen Con. If you're there at Gen Con, do us a huge favor. Take pictures, put up stuff, because we can't go. And, we're not there. We want to see what's going on. Do videos. Hell, do videos, people. Do videos. You got a phone, boom, video. Do cool videos so we can see what's going on, so we can be like, oh, that's awesome. I think, in this day and age, if you're not doing videos and you're at PaizoCon, I'm going to have to come visit you with a stick, because that's just ridiculous. How could you not be doing videos? I mean, and you don't have to video chat as long as I do. Just put them up there, video, boom, put it up there. People love it, boom, more stuff, content. We're not there. You want to see it. So, that's what I'm hoping to see more of that this weekend. I'll be promoting some of that. Thursday being our week roundup show, we may have a special guest. I'm still trying to see if he can make it. This individual, I don't want to say who it is, but I want to kind of surprise you. But it's one of those, it'd be glad to hear him about, talk to us about some stuff. I think you'll find it very informative. Like I said, I'm crossing my fingers that this individual can make it. I think you will be very happy to see who it is. I'm very happy to see who it is. I think, see, I don't want to give away who it is. That's the problem. I might give away if I tell you anymore. But so come back, definitely tomorrow. Come back Thursday, definitely Thursday. If the person says yes, I'll put a big announcement up, and reveal who it is, but I think you'll all be glad. So that's that. As always, thank you for coming by, watching the video. I'm going to be putting the comments up, and this is what I love now. Now that this is, all live, I can do this all at the same time. Like right now, I just finished up writing all the write-ups, so I'm going to put them on our Facebook page, so you can get all the links from all the stuff I've been talking about. See in somewhat real time. It's pretty real time. It's pretty close to real time. There's a lag, but there's some cool real time comments. I'll put it right in the top where it belongs, so you all can read it. And then when I put some more stuff, boom, there it is. It's all there. It's amazing. Technology is amazing to me. This is some great stuff. Oh, cannot wait. So yeah, so check us out as always. And as always, like I tell you every day, not just check us out here, go to YouTube, sign into YouTube, subscribe. It's very important. I always every evening, it's very important to subscribe. We love subscriptions on YouTube. That helps us out in ways you can't even imagine. And it really helps our analytics. That really tells us what's going on, so we can really see what's really going on in the background. Are you enjoying this format? Do you like that we're doing it like this way? Would you like us to change up something? Let us know. Toss us some stuff. We want to know. We're here, like I said, Monday through Thursday, 9 till supposed to be 9:30, but whenever I finish stop talking, good Lord, I'm a freaking bag of wind here. But go by YouTube, subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe. Get your mom to subscribe. It's very important. I need this. Very important. Very important. YouTube. This one is the actual YouTube video, so this is very important. Go to YouTube, subscribe. All right, that's it. I'm going to get out of here and relax. As always, thank you so much, and have a good night. Like I said, tomorrow, comic books, and Thursday, surprise guest. Who could it be? Talk to y'all later.